Oscar Manuel Gastelum Iribe, alias Musico, Manny Salgado, 23, indicted in Chicago on terrorism, rug trafficking, and hammer charges. Alleged leader of Sinaloa faction indicted in Chicago on tourism, rug trafficking, and hammer charges. There he is. We've seen that picture before. We've heard Jay tell stories of Musico. A federal grand jury has indicted an alleged member or alleged leader of a violent faction in the Sinaloa cartel in Mexico on tourism, rugs, and hammer charges, including engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise. According to the superseding indictment returned yesterday in the Northern District of Illinois, Oscar Manuel Gastelum Iribe, 50, of Sinaloa, Mexico, also known as El Musico, directed the importation of large quantities of Fetty Wap, Brocane, Sherwin, and other rugs, at times in shipments of hundreds of thousands of kilos, into the United States on behalf of the Beltran Leyva faction of the Sinaloa cartel, a designated foreign tourist organization. As alleged, Oscar Manuel Gastelum Iribe led a faction of the Sinaloa cartel that flooded. I did that already. Didn't I? No, they just be repeating themselves over and over. Look at this, is the exact same line here, man. These people are the professionals, man. You know what I mean? These are the journalists. Meanwhile, they repeating shit. As alleged, Oscar Manuel Gastelum Iribe led a faction of Sinaloa cartel, sold Fetty, sold Brocane, Sherwin, and used unaliving and intimidation to protect its profits, said Acting Assistant Attorney General Matthew R. Gagliardi of the Justice Department's Criminal Division. The Sinaloa cartel has been designated as foreign tourist organization because of the kinds of crimes announced today. This indictment further demonstrates that the Criminal Division will use every tool at its disposal to target cartel leaders, including by holding them accountable for acts of tourism against our country. All right? I wonder sometimes what it is. It's paperwork at the end of the day. They're getting the ball rolling on these guys. Indictment, what is it, They was coming after you. They've been coming after you forever, but now they probably really coming after you. So we'll see. Do y'all think Musico's heart dropped when the $5 million bounty was put on his head? But could it even ever be a surprise to him? I don't know. I don't know that it could be a surprise to him. Could he be surprised? He had to know that $5 million was going to end up on his dome eventually, right? He had to know that as each leader falls, as each boss disappears into the United States federal prison picture, right? They all went to jail.
You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail.
So, I don't know that he's surprised, but, maybe he puckered up a little bit. Maybe his heart dropped a little bit. Today, narco-tourism indictment of El Musico sends a powerful message that this administration is going to aggressively pursue transnational criminal organizations and hold their highest-ranking members and associates accountable for poisoning the American public with illegal and harmful rugs. They're poisoning the American public? Big Pharma ain't poisoning the American public? The American public ain't poisoning themselves? What are we doing here? Huh? You catch the blame. You catch the blame. You catch the blame. No, mama.
No, mommy's wait.
Fuck. Said U.S. Attorney Andrew S. Boutros for the Northern District of Illinois. The Chicago U.S. Attorney's Office has a proud history going back many decades of prosecuting some of the nation's biggest and most significant narco-trafficking cartel cases. Building on that tradition, under my leadership, our office will continue to prioritize the investigation and prosecution of violent rug cartels, several of which include the Sinaloa cartel, have very deservedly been designated as foreign terrorista organizations. Working closely with other prosecutors and law enforcement partners across the United States, our goal remains unchanged to disrupt and dismantle the Sinaloa cartel's rug empire and bring its leaders to justice. From narco-corridos to narco-terroristas, El Musico famously writes his own lyrics, but his next one will be written from the Bureau of Prisons, said U.S. Attorney. Ooh, he dropped the bar right there, bro. He thought he was slick. He was like, El Musico famously writes his own lyrics, but the next one will be written by the Bureau of Prisons. Ooh.
I'm in your bubble. I'm in your bubble.
Said U.S. Attorney Adam Gordon for the Southern District of California. As El Músico once boasted, la vida es curiosa, hoy soy poderoso, but soon his rancho querido will be nothing but a distant memory. This indictment sends a clear and uncompromised message. We just heard you say that. We definitely just heard that. Bartel leaders who flood our streets with Fetty Wap and arm their networks with hammers, machine hammers, and grenades are not just rug traffickers, they're tourists, said DEA Administrator Terrence Cole. Oscar Manuel Gasolin Maribe and his faction turned Bartel violence into a campaign of terror targeting police, military, and civilians alike. DEA remains relentless in our pursuit of these narco-terrorists, and we will not stop until the Sinaloa Bartel and every organization like it is dismantled, its leaders brought to justice, and American families protected. Who's going to save these bastards for themselves? You know what I'm saying? Nobody trying to save them from themselves, huh? Shit. So him being indicted on the specific terrorism charge make it so that U.S. forces can send in secret squads to get him. They'll just wait until he's on a boat fishing with 9 or 10 other guys, you know what I'm saying? They'll be in the water in the dinghy, and then they'll drop a bomb on their ass. They'll show us a video of it, and they'll say that they got 8 million tons of narcotics, right? So that's quite possibly what could happen. Now, how significant are these guys really? That's the other question. I mean, on to the next leader, right? On to the next dude in charge, no? For terrorism in Mexico or terrorism over here. They can't define that. They can't even define extradition. As far as they're concerned, it's expelling them, sending them away, exporting them, but they won't cop to extradition. Why? Because they do what they want. What's narco-terrorism? It's new, dog. They haven't even told you yet what it is. You never know what kind of world you wake up to. Power goes out, systems fail, or you end up somewhere you shouldn't have been. That's where survival fraud comes in. The OGs of emergency prep. From solar-powered gear to bug-out bags that'll keep you breathing while everyone else panics. They got the real tools for the real situations. I'm not talking fantasy gear, I'm talking survival gear. Hit the Survival Frog link in the description and get geared up. Be ready, stay sharp, stay dangerous. Narco-tourism is a new one for me too. They just talking, they say what they want. The indictment of El Músico and the dismantlement of the leadership structure of these foreign tourist organizations are direct results of the unwavering commitment of Homeland Security and investigations. Yeah, this is the thank you part. Remember, they thank you each other all day long. Oh, thank you. Meanwhile, they didn't do shit. Meanwhile, somebody either snitched, turned somebody in. Come on, man. Y'all didn't do shit. Shit lands in your lap. All you got to do is have a hotline now. And our law enforcement partners to protect the United States, says Special Agent in Charge Sean Gibson of Immigration and these dorks with the masks on. San Diego. We remain resolute in our mission to bring all members of these criminal cartels to justice, regardless of where they attempt to evade accountability. As the leader of a faction of the Sinaloa Bartel, El Músico allegedly directed the importation of all of the stuff that we mentioned 3 or 4 times already, and oversaw atrocious acts of violence, including snatchings and unalivings in Mexico, says Special Agent in Charge Reed Davis of the FBI Washington Field Office Criminal Division. The superseding indictment against him is the result of years of collaboration among multiple federal agencies and judicial districts. The FBI and our partners will continue to work towards dismantling the Sinaloa Bartel, blah, 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 blah.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Same shit every time. We're going to get them, and we got them, and all of that rah-rah bullshit that they be talking, man. Let's mute the bullshit. dismantling the Sinaloa cartel and bringing its violent leaders, including El Musico, to justice. All right, they sound like Patricio. After the arrests or unaliving of the faction's original leaders, El Musico assumed a leadership role and conspired with associates to distribute drugs nationwide. Well, that happened a long time ago. Where y'all was at? Y'all weren't after him then? What's that all about? Assumed a leadership role and conspired with associates to distribute drugs nationwide, including in the Chicago area, using cars, trucks, rails, and other interstate carriers to protect the cartel's operations. El Musico allegedly ordered and carried out violent attacks against rivals, military personnel, and law enforcement, including ordering the unaliving of a Mexican police officer and 2 others. All right? Sometimes when I'm thinking of the code word, get the stutter going. Under Musico's leadership, the faction armed its members with machine hammers, rocket-propelled grenade launchers, fireworks, and other hammers and weapons, while also engaging in snatchings, assaults, and bribery of corrupt public officials. And Musico's charged with tourism. Oh my goodness, they just fucking beat a dead horse, boy. El Musico's charged with tourism, drug trafficking, and firearm offenses. The terrorism charges, which accuse El Musico of engaging in narco-tourism and providing material support and resources to the Sinaloa cartel, is a result of President Trompito's executive order, designating the Sinaloa cartel as a foreign tourist organization and State Department's subsequent designation of the same in February this year. If convicted, El Musico faces a mandatory penalty of life in prison. He is not in custody, and a warrant has been issued for his arrest. The indictment is the result of a collaboration between prosecutors in the criminal divisions of narcotics and dangerous drug section, the Northern District of Illinois and Southern District of Cali, as well as law enforcement partners from Homeland, FBI, and DEA. This case is a part of Operation Take Back America.
This is America.
Nationwide initiative that marshals the full resources of the Department of Justice to repel the invasion of illegal immigration, achieve the total elimination of cartels and transnational criminal organizations, and protect our communities from the perpetrators of violent crime. Operation Take Back America streamlines efforts and resources from the departments and project safe neighborhoods. Project Safe Neighborhoods. An indictment is merely an allegation, and all defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. It's funny, I read all of this nut hugging that these feds do of each other. Oh, and the DEA is doing this, and the FBI is doing that, and then people say, oh, Trompito's keeping his promises, right? Sleepy Joe ain't keep no promises. Trompito, they always keep their promises to do the violent stuff and to oppress the poor people, but I never hear no promises getting dealt with for the people that are hungry, for the people that need shit. I don't hear that part. That part I never hear. For those who don't know, he wrote the song that goes, un día fue traficante y luego ayudante de un hombre famoso. Ahora, ¿quién queda de los viejos? Además del Mencho. I mean, it's going to have to come, once it comes to a point where all of the leaders, when they first take their spot, if y'all come in this chat and say, I don't even know who the fuck dude is, then I'll say we've reached a different stage. Sound just like when Cash and the FBI saying that they arrested the shooter. They ain't do shit. Just all bullshit. They just, what can we say in front of the cameras? Whatever we want. No problem. We say whatever we want. America, listen.
This is America.
Y'all are listen. I wonder how Jay feels about this. Since from the podcast, he seemed to have a legitimate friendship with Musico, especially with Mentor Legendary saving the twins. If I'm not mistaken, it's Musico that told him, listen, man, they're coming to save you, but you might have to fight, and this might not end well. You got to be okay with that. And that was the conversation they had. I'm sure there's a couple handfuls that we haven't even heard of. Yeah. Once it gets to that you haven't heard of them, then, we on some other shit. Chabo's brother's still out there as well. Chabo's brother out there and said, don't cross this bridge. Don't step in this direction. Stay out of my way. You don't want no problems. Everybody. He said everybody. All of y'all. Either side. You cross this way, I'm gonna be in your bubble.
I'm in your bubble. I'm in your bubble.
All right, again, these indictments are merely allegations. They are what they are. He knew he was on the other side of the law for the last 30 years, 40 years. That's just the U.S. telling you we on his ass next. So there it is, El Musico indicted for whatever that's worth. I've only ever seen one picture of the dude. So maybe they catch him, maybe they don't. All right, that'll be, and you know, it'd be nice to get a reaction from upper echelon on this particular story, on this particular indictment. All right, Musico got a problem. The United States government wants to write his lyrics from now on.